Hey everybody, Rachel here from RachelTheStamper.wordpress.com, and today I'm going to be showing you a really great card. I'm going to warn you ahead of time, it's going to seem a little bit complicated at first. If you have a Stampin' Up trimmer as opposed to any other trimmer, it's going to make this immensely easier for you, but it's a really cool card. And essentially, what you're doing, I'm going to show you one that I made a long time ago. This was using the Land to Sea stamp set, which is one of my favorites. But today we're going to use the Butterfly Basics. We're going to change it out. This card looks kind of scary, but it's like making your own designer series paper. So this one is one I did a while ago. I think this was when we still had, I wonder if it's either Calypso Coral or might have been Strawberry Slush. But that's the second one I made. So what you do is you have this little cool fold out, and it's just on a base card. And here's one in, I think this is pistachio pudding. But the one I made today for you, and then I'm going to show you how to do another one. Oh, isn't this really cool? So it's using all of the in colors. So the 2015-17 in colors. Isn't that so pretty? And what I did was, on this one, I made it so you could put your greeting on the back. So the other thing you could do is you could put a little extra panel here. You could leave one of these blank if you wanted to and write your message on the inside, or like I did here, I just gave a little bit of something on the back and then you could write your message inside. So again, looks scary. I'm going to try to make this sound as easy as possible. It really is not very difficult. You just have to have patience. And again, if you have the Stampin' Up trimmer, it really works much, much easier. I do not. So that's why I'm saying that ahead of time. I have a different trimmer. I don't have a Stampin' Up trimmer yet. So I'm going to explain it the best I can without terrifying you. But what this piece is, we use Tip Top Taupe as our base, and that is standard card size, 5.5 by 4.25. And then we're going to use a piece of colored paper, your choice, whatever color you want. This one's in Cucumber Crush, and it measures 4 by 9 3/4 across. And basically, we're going to make some score marks. We're going to make a cut. It sounds complicated. It's really pretty simple once you do it once. So, what the base card looks like without all that stuff attached to it is this. So you have your base card. We're going to put some score marks in it. We're going to cut across here and attach it to a base, and it's going to be very simple. So what we are going to do, I already went ahead and cut a piece of, I have Delightful Dijon. So this is cut at 4 by 9 3/4. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take our scoring tool, bring this down so you can see it a little better, and we're going to score at 3. So we're going to score all the way down at 3. So all the way down. And then we're going to score again at 5 1/4. All the way down. Okay, now here's where it gets just slightly complicated. So you have another mark here. We're going to make it 7.5. However, we only want this about 1.5 inches from the bottom up. So you can do one of two things. You can either turn this on its side, and if you do, you're going to turn it on the 9 3/4 inch side, and you're going to find 1.5 inches, and you're going to kind of follow it down over here, and you're going to run in between. If you have the Stampin' Up trimmer, you could do all your scoring on that because it has the scoring blade and the cutting blade, and you have all your marks here. It would make it immensely simpler. Or we're also going to be scoring here at 7.5. You could turn it upside down, and if you're doing that, you're going to be scoring it instead at 2 1/4, and you're going to kind of just make yourself a little mark and go up. If you see over here, you have your 1/2 inch, just slightly to that. Okay. So now, the other thing you have to do is we have to make a cut. We have to make a cut mark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my trimmer to show you how I did this. And again, if you have the Stampin' Up trimmer, it makes it so much easier. But this is a trimmer I've had for 800 years. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your card, the bottom of your card, because again, we only want this 1.5 inches, so you want 1.5 inches. So mine right here, I have this, I don't have measurements obviously. So I'm going to just run my score line across here. And that's going to be where I'm going to cut. And if you can see right here, my notch didn't go quite as far when I did it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run my cutting blade. And this is why the Stampin' Up! Trimmer is so much better, because it's a point blade as this is a rotary. So you're going to run your blade from the 3-inch mark to the 7.5-inch mark. Let's see how I got. I went a little over. It's okay. It's not going to ruin this card because I have a bunch more that I already folded up. But anyway, so if you have the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, it'll work much easier and you won't have all these problems. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold our first score line back. So that's the 3-inch. And then we're going to fold, this part is going to be like an opposite. So it's going to go, the one goes back, the other goes forward. And then this one here is going to fold in. So it goes just like that, just like an accordion. You do want to make sure you use your bone folder to get everything really flat, because that'll definitely help, especially if you're going to mail this card. Okay, and that's basically it. So again, I know that sounded really complicated. It's it's not. 3-inch score, 5 1/4, and then down here, once you get to the 7.5 mark, you only want to score the bottom 1.5 inches. Okay, so we're going to fold that up, and let's see. That is Delightful Dijon. So I think, I'm trying to think which one that would look nice on. Maybe we'll go with Mint Macaron is our base on that one. Let's see. Let's see what that looks like against that. That still looks really pretty. Okay. So what? Just give me 1 second here. I'm going to cut this so you don't have to. So this is going to be our regular, just a quarter. So this is just a quarter piece of cardstock. So it's going to be 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And then I'm going to put that on. So that'll be our base. So it's going to be like that. And then the other thing we're going to need is some Whisper White cardstock to make our designer series paper, if you get my drift. So again, as you saw this, what we're going to do is we're going to take some paper, and you can do this one of two ways. You can either get yourself a whole sheet of paper. Obviously, we're going to need one a little bit longer than this, but you get yourself a whole sheet of paper. So, oops, cut this at 3 3/4 is going to be the length, because that's the longest we have. So 3 3/4, 8 1/2. About, we'll go with 9 1/2 just to be safe. Okay, so you can do this one of two ways. You can either cut your paper now, if you want to cut it into strips, so all of your images line up correctly. That would be only one piece of advice I would give you, because on one of these cards, when I was stamping the images, this is prior, I did make somebody a little bit sideways. So if you stamp them all on a line, you're guaranteed you'll get them all facing the right direction. But that might be a little bit daunting to have to cut the pieces afterwards. So you could do it either way. What we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and just stamp our images, and then I'll tell you what the sizes are for them. So we're going to open up. So we have Delightful Dijon, Mint Macaron, Cucumber Crush, Watermelon Wonder, and Tip Top Taupe. So we're using all of the 2015-17 in colors. And let's see, we'll start with the Tip Top Taupe first, because Tip Top Taupe is the one I have the most difficulty with. I always feel like it's going to be lighter than it is, and it's almost always darker. And it almost every single time throws me for a loop. And a piece of scrap paper here. So, oh, here it is somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to just put this here just for the edges. And since I kind of overestimated my piece here, I'm going to probably just move it over a little bit as I'm stamping. Okay. No, really no particular order, honestly, at all. And let's see. So we'll do, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the fern first. And you could stamp this off. You can have them all so they're full length. You know, this is your chance to make your own designer series paper, which is pretty cool. The problem is I get hooked on this kind of thing and then I can't stop doing it. But I know I really, if you know me, I really love designer series paper. So I highly doubt this would ever be my real replacement. I have a problem. Need to have a 12-step program for designer series paper. Alright, so basically I'm just stamping all of the elements of the stamp set, just in various different positions. So let's see, what haven't we used yet? We'll do the big butterfly in the Delightful Dijon. Okay, and let's see what else. This, I don't think I used the Lost Lagoon yet. Not Lost Lagoon, Cheese Whiz. That was a slip. What color is this? Mint macaroni. Do the flower and mint. And this can be really as busy or as quiet as you want of a paper. I mean, you don't have to have nearly any of this amount of decorations if you don't want to. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the Tip Top Taupe, the Delightful Dijon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make, also I'm going to put a little piece of the Sentiment in one of those colors. Okay, so now, again, with this piece of paper, what you're going to do is you're going to make some cuts. So we're going to take, and first we're going to cut a piece of, the first one is going to be, let's see, we're going to go this direction. Let me back these up just a little bit so I don't dip this in the ink. So we're going to cut this 2 7/8. Okay, we'll put that on the side for now. Then we're going to have 2 that are going to be at 2 1/8. So you're going to cut 2 1/8 twice. 2 1/8. We'll keep this together so you can see what this is for. 2 1/8. And then one more at 2. So you can see where our little hang off piece. So if you happen to like that side more, the only thing it really wouldn't match up. There we go. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the 2 that are the matching pieces. So these are the 2 1/8. And we're going to cut a strip off of the bottom. And this is going to be for our other piece. So we're going to cut a strip at 1 3/8. So 1 3/8. You could actually put these right next to each other. Line them up and cut them at the same time if you'd like. Okay. And let me show you. Let me just make sure these measure correctly. That should be 3 3/4. And this should be 3 6/8. Perfect. Well, which is pretty close. Okay. So now what we're going to do, let me get this out of the way, is we're going to assemble our card. So we're going to take some adhesive. Where is my fast fuse? I'm going to just hook this on. Okay, and we're just going to assembly line. So we're going to put this on here. Right about there. These 2 pieces are the ones that we trimmed off. So one will go on the bottom and one will go on the top. So same thing here. Oh my goodness. Myself and the adhesive are not getting along very well this evening. Oh boy. Oh my goodness, really? For goodness sake. Sorry guys, this is like stamping gone wrong on this YouTube channel today. There we go. Back in business. Holy cow. Okay. So we're going to take our small pieces are going to go on here. Our larger pieces are going to go up here. Okay, same thing again, just keep adding these in. Just like so. And then this last piece up here. Let's see, got a little piece of adhesive. Okay, so there you go. There's your card. And what we're going to do now is we're going to adhere this to the base. So you only want to put adhesive, again, when you're looking at this card, just on this part, because if you put it here, the card won't open. So let me put some here. Okay, and make sure I have this nice and even. Okay, and then you're going to push your card down on the back. Okay, and then what I did was I went ahead, and I will tell you which one this is for sure, but this is the butterfly that actually matches along with the butterfly. And what I did was I went and cut this out so we can put this on here. I saved an extra piece that we trimmed off the end, and we're going to stamp our sentiment on that part. So you can stamp this straight. You can keep it straight just like that. This one, I did a little bit of a flag on the end. So what we're going to do for this one is we're going to find, I think I'm going to go with the mint macaron, just to match the background of this. So we're going to do, what words do we want to do? Sending wishes your way, happy birthday. I don't know if I can get the happy birthday to fit on there, quite frankly. I can if I'm really good. Let's give it a try. All right, let me get my scrap paper here just so I don't ruin this table. All right, let's see. If not, I can always... Wow, that was really lucky. All right, so we're going to put that on here, and I think I am gonna just flag the ends of this. You can do this with the 1-inch square punch. Where did my 1-inch square punch go? Well, you can do it with your 1-inch square punch if you can remember where you put it. If you can't, just use your scissors. So we're just gonna flag the end of this. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I will just put these together and flag the end of the Dijon to match it, the Delightful Dijon. I'm going to put that right on there, and then we'll just trim the tips of this up. Okay. All right, so we're going to put this on here, and then we're going to put our butterfly on. I'm going to put the butterfly on with dimensionals, and I'm only going to put it on the very bottom, just that way it sticks off of the, let's see if that'll be good enough. Yeah, it'll stick off of the top of it. Let's see, just like that. And I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on this so it hangs over. Just like so. Okay, so the only other thing you can add to this is you can add a panel on the back. That way you can put your greeting. And you can just do a regular whisper white. Obviously this isn't cut, but a whisper white panel. And you could do the same thing I did here, is just to stamp a little bit of a decorative image on here so it's just not a plain background. You could leave one of these blank on the inside if you wanted to put your sentiment here, on here, or on here, either one. But I hope you guys, as daunting as this card looks, really, once you give yourself a minute to just think about it, and again, if you have the Stampin Trimmer, the Stampin Up trimmer, sheesh, that's a tongue twister. This will work so much easier because it has the nice pointy blade with the measurer, and you can really pinpoint exactly where you want to cut. It'll make your cut so much better. But I hope you guys will give this a try. It was really, really simple. If you give yourself just a little bit of practice on maybe a piece of cardstock that you really don't like that much, I'm telling you, it is so easy. It's just a little Z-fold card with just a little bit of fanciness cut out so it goes the opposite direction. I'm sure you will love it if you give it a try. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email. You can leave me a comment. You can reach me at rachthestamper.wordpress.com, rachthestamper@gmail.com. You can buy all of this and more in my Stampin' store if you can visit me at rachthestamper.stampinup.net. Hope you guys have a great night, and I hope you give this card a try. Don't let it scare you. It's so much fun once you get started. None of your friends will believe you made it yourself. All right, I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks.